The Dallas Mavericks in the 2014-2015 season was an underrated team looking to make some noise. This Mavericks team was coming off a 7-round first-round loss to the eventual champions San Antonio Spurs in 2014. The team was able to bring in Tyson Chandler, Chandler Parsons, and other pieces in the off-season to make a run for a championship. This team on paper looked like playoff threats, with Monte Ellis, Chandler Parsons, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tyson Chandler. This may seem far-fetched, but Monte Ellis was the man of this Mavericks team, and he played like an all-star. Chandler Parsons was a complementary piece as a playmaker and shooter next to Dirk Nowitzki and Monte Ellis. This team was an offensive threat, with average team defense. It seemed like this team was missing one ingredient to solidify their spot as championship contenders. In the eyes of the front office, that missing piece was Rajon Rondo. Rondo was in a lot of trade rumors at the time, and his inevitable departure out of Boston was drawing closer day by day. He was looked to get a big payday in the offseason, as he was still looked to be a top point guard in the NBA. On December 18, 2014, the Mavericks and Celtics agreed on a trade where the Mavs traded Brandon Wright, Jay Crowder, Jameer Nelson, a 2015 first-round pick, and a second-round pick in exchange for Rajon Rondo and Dwight Powell. Rondo had a case of being a hothead and uncoachable at times. In his debut with Dallas, they played the Spurs, where he dropped 6 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds in a victory. He even went on to drop a barrage of threes against the Celtics on January 2nd, 2015, finishing with 29 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. The Rondo, Monte, Dirk trio is looked to be a dominant offensive threat, especially with the passing ability and pick and rolls / pops with Rondo and Dirk. Rondo also being able to set up a slashing Monte Ellis for inside buckets. Everything seemed great for the Mavericks at first. They finally filled a point guard spot that they lacked since Jason Kidd. Until a game against the Toronto Raptors on February 24th, 2015, where everything turned sour. The Mavs in this game were down 60-53 in the third quarter with 8:20 left to go. You can see Rick Carlisle call a play as Rondo is walking up the court. Rondo ignores Carlisle, and Carlisle bursts onto the court calling for a timeout. Rick and Rondo exchange words, and it seemed like it was a heated argument. Rondo was benched the rest of the game and also was suspended for 1 game for the incident. It was reported by ESPN that the two had a difference in play calling. Mavs fans quickly panicked as they jumped to the conclusion that their newly acquired guard and coach are not on the same page. Rick said after the game that it was an emotional game and that Rondo had a difference in opinion and tried to brush off the situation.
It's an emotional game and we had a difference of opinion. So there was an exchange, and then in my mind it was over.
Is that difference of opinion regarding play calling?
I'm not going to get into that. But in my mind, once it was over, it was over.
Was it that coach's decision made for basketball reasons or disciplinary reasons?
It was made because I'm the coach, and that was the decision that I made at the time. Now, how many other ways do you want me to answer the same question?
One, you haven't answered it yet. Is Rondo your starting point guard tomorrow?
That's what we brought him here for.
Rondo continued to be the starting point guard for the rest of the season. What Rondo had to realize being in Dallas is that he wasn't going to get the freedom to play how he wants, like he did in his days of Boston. Rick Carlisle was set on having his own set plays that he wanted to run, and Rondo was a guy that liked to run his own plays. Carlisle's point guards usually have low assist numbers, being that usually these guards would average around 4 to 6 assists in his system. It was rare that you would have a guard that averaged 7+ assists. Carlisle promoted a lot of ball movement, team play, pick and rolls, and post-up plays.
According to reports leaking out of Dallas, relative insubordination from the standpoint that Rick Carlisle will call plays, Rondo will brush it off, try to do his own thing. Rick Carlisle's not going for that. But here's the bottom line. You're Rondo. You're approaching free agency. You've been injured. Over the last 2-3 years, you've been shooting 40% from the field. You're averaging 9.6.2 assists. The team was 19-8 before you arrived. They're 20-12 without you. No, they're not worse, but you ain't making much of a difference either. You're looking to get paid, okay? And oh, by the way, when we talk about star point guards in this league, your name is not someone that comes up in this day and age.
With this button of heads, Carlisle and Rondo got into it. And with the Rondo being a hot-headed player, he was definitely going to get the last laugh in this situation. The Mavs would finish 50-32, 7th in the Western Conference. But when the Mavs faced off against the Houston Rockets in the first round of the 2015 NBA playoffs, this is when all hell broke loose. Rondo played Game 1 and ended with 15 points and 5 assists. But when Game 2 rolled around, Rondo's heart just was not into it. He got into it with James Harden, foolishly fouling him and had an embarrassing 8-second violation play. He would be benched for the rest of the game and the entire series, ending with only 4 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds in Game 2. Rondo was just doing his best to get fouled out or simply benched. I've honestly never seen a player, especially in the playoffs, just play with no heart and no care in the world whatsoever.
Chili dip, that runner came up way short.
Clearly you want to shut him down.
Maneuver past Jason Terry.
Harden trying to get position. Of course, Rondo trying to deny. But the officials are watching all of this. They know that. So
Now Rondo, very quick foul. Very quick foul. 10 seconds into the third quarter is his third foul of the game. And Harden and Rondo got a little bit tied up afterwards. And they called just one technical.
When you see him up on Harden, James Harden, a very smart offensive player.
JJ Barea ended up taking the point guard reins and led the Mavs to steal one game for the series, as they would eventually lose 4-1. This season would ultimately cost Rondo millions of dollars, and any light that he was a top point guard in the league, that was thrown out the window after this season. Rondo would finish the season averaging 9.3 points, 6.5 assists, and 4.5 rebounds. Just a couple more things. Carlisle's play style is that his system mostly favors point guards who can shoot. The Mavs would usually run sets that would have the point guard spot up for a shot rather than playmaking. Usually they would spot up in a corner. This is a reason why Rondo did not fit so well in Dallas. He wanted to run his own plays and do his own thing. And with his inability to shoot the basketball, it made him just stand in the corner and watch as Monte Ellis or Dirk take control of the offense. Rondo just completely became a liability on offense. The Mavs had Jameer Nelson before they traded for Rondo. A guy like Jameer fits better into a Rick Carlisle system. Rondo's play in Game 2 was so bad that after the game, Carlisle believed that Rondo would not even look to return to the Mavericks. Rondo would then go on to sign with the Sacramento Kings that summer for 1 year, $10 million. Mavericks fans to this day still despise Rondo because of his performance in those playoffs.
In his 10th season from Kentucky, number 9, Rajon Rondo. And coach of the Sacramento Kings is George Moore.
That sounds like the opposite of love.